You, whoever you are, you could make a sci-fi movie, maybe better than anything that Hollywood's making, who knows. And I would say that you can even make it with no AI at all, which is where everyone's going. I know, you don't need it. You can actually, with your own hands, make an amazing sci-fi movie. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to prove it to you. Because science fiction has a reputation, right, for being really expensive. And this kind of thing, it makes it a big risk for studios because they think that to make a sci-fi, it's got to be spectacular. And it makes it inaccessible for newbies and for indie filmmakers. And you might think, well, how on earth can I tell a better story? Even if you've got a great story in your head, how can you make something like that? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you by reacting to something that I made myself. Now, this is something that was posted on my other channel a while back, but I thought I'm going to replay it here and give you a commentary and hopefully show you that actually really good looking sci-fi is within your grasp and you can actually make this. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm creating a whole new platform, and this is the platform where people can tell their own science fiction stories. I'm creating a brand new universe, a cinematic universe in which you can tell stories which would be fully canon and part of the universe, and where you can monetize it as much as you want. This is what's happening. But first I need to show you that it's possible, that you can actually do this. So let me just show you the trailer for what I'm about to show you how to make.
Oh.
Okay,
Can we get that?
Why would you ask me to do this? This is just for the cause.
Okay, so there are 3 backgrounds involved. I'm going to do background 1 here today, and then if I get enough comments, likes and views, etc., then I will show you the other 2 as well. Okay, so here's the first one, and I'm just going to talk you through a little of how I did this. Let's go. Okay, here we go. It's been a while. Let's see what I remember from this. That's the name of my other channel if you want to check it out, by the way. I haven't posted anything there in absolutely years. Anyway, okay, so yes, the challenge is this. Create a cinematic sci-fi scene. This is what I drew. Had it on my mind. I wanted to make it look very industrial. So I had it all planned out. If you're going to do something, always plan it out first. Don't just go buy stuff and start flinging it around and whatnot. Picture it in your head. Draw it out as well as you can. Get it up there, and so now you've got an idea of this is what I want it to look like. Here's how I can achieve that. Okay. I actually did a sketch out on a whiteboard there just to say, okay, I can make this bit doing this and this bit doing whatever. I'll get on with it. Let's move a bit quicker. Okay, so that's the space that I had. Okay, it was not a large space. It was an old office room in a church. So the church had taken over this other building, and they had, you can see this like ugly white strip around the middle there. That's for all the power. And so that's the lighting that I've got there, which we'll come back to lighting in a moment. But anyway, that's the space. Let's make it look the way we want it to look. Okay. So the guy drilling it, or sewing it up there, that's Dan. Now, Dan is actually in this film as the voice off camera, but he's the only person who's in all of the Exuno films that we've made so far. So you will see him appearing quite a lot. You'll see here that he's sewing in. I'll just show you as we go. Okay, so sewing in these sections here. I'm no good with wood. I'm just not. So I would actually say, if you don't have a lot of skills in something, don't injure yourself, okay? Just ask some friends who are good at doing various things. Hey, come help me do a thing. The minute you say, I'm trying to make a movie, you're going to have so many people wanting to help you because making movies is sexy and everybody wants to be involved. So, okay, we've made the wood there for the shape of the walls, and then we've just used some corrugated card Just bought it off Amazon, really, really cheap. It was a few pounds for a roll of the stuff. And then just used a sponge with some brown paint on it to just kind of like dab it here and there to give it like a used look. And then I wanted some more metallic panels to go with it, so we just used this sticky back plastic. You can see just there. There you go. Again, just everything was just ordered off Amazon. It's all really cheap. Everything here is as cheap as I could possibly make it. So this stuff here, again, it's holographic transfer paper. It's a few pounds for a roll, and it's a few rolls to do this whole thing. Some B-roll there, lovely. Now then, here we're using some paper plates and some curry trays there. Now then, you might think that, oh, the paper plates, they're silvery. Doesn't matter. They just happen to be like that. They were the cheapest ones I can find. Everything was the cheapest stuff I could find. What they look like now doesn't matter. This is just the substance that we're going to paint to give it the 3D look that we want. So map it all out, just plates and cups and plastic shot glasses there, as you can see. And then you just, as it says there behind my ugly face, paint everything. You just give everything a coat of paint. And this is why it doesn't matter what it looks like beforehand. I mean, I've got a glass here, right? Turn it upside down, paint it. There you go. It's a thing that sticks out. Or even paint the end there so it doesn't look like it's a glass, like a drinking glass, and put an LED in it and it'll light the whole thing up or whatever. What it looks like now is not the point. It's what it looks like after you've painted it or added to it. It's called kitbashing, if you want to look that up. So we just paint absolutely everything that you've just seen and put down some bubble wrap. There you go. Really, really cheap bubble wrap there. All over it. There you go. Get the mouse on. So yeah, all of the bubble wrap right there. Dead cheap. And then hazard tape. Again, hazard tape, it's like £2 for a whole roll. So you get it all together and what have you got? Painted shot glasses on top of painted card on top of those plates, and suddenly there you go. That's Laura, who's going to be acting. She's the star of the show. But if you have a look there to the left now, you've got this like hazard tape and bubble wrap and whatnot. It just makes it look industrial. And all you need to do with industrial is make lots of different layers and then paint it to look dirty and used. That's it. It's so straightforward. Now, once we get the lighting on this, you're not going to see that those plates are like, centimeters deep. Because you're looking at them end on, once we get it lit properly, that could be a cylinder that's been sort of put into a hole. It looks like it would be. One thing that I haven't mentioned here is, I don't know if you can see it, but just on the sides of the grey standing bit there, we've got pool noodles. In fact, I didn't want to pay for pool noodles because they're too expensive. So this is insulation, pipe insulation that you can get. Again, this is like 50p to £1 for a roll. You put it on the sides and then suddenly you can't see that this is just a big piece of cardboard because we've covered the edges up. Over on the right there, it does look like a bunch of cardboard, right? Because that's exactly what it is. But once you put it in the right context and give it the right lighting, it just looks great. Let's go. And there you go. There's the lighting. So we're going to use yellow lighting and we're going to bounce it off walls and stuff to give it lots of shadows. We've got LEDs in that cardboard underneath those plates there, if you can see. And these are just regular LEDs. You can buy them really, really cheap. You just attach them all to a wire and you just put them through. Or you could just get fairy lights, which is what we did. You just get a string of fairy lights. Most of them are behind it and you can't see. So there's a ton of fairy lights behind that thing that you can't see at all. But the ones that are just sitting in the right place when we put the whole thing up, we poke those through and now it looks like you've got switches on there. This is key, okay? Design some signage. So I used PowerPoint to do this. So PowerPoint to give signage that it makes it look like it's lived in. So this is stuff that's not supposed to communicate to you. When you've got writing and things like that that have absolutely no impact on the story, but they're there anyway, it's a thing called mise en scène, which, yeah, technical term, French as always, that just, it's creating the scene with the background, mise en scène, that's what it is. But when you've got writing, you can see that the characters are communicating with each other in ways that you don't need to know about. And again, it gives you that sense of being lived in. This is a real world people are living in. So I just designed a bit of signage just to kind of plaster around. It's all in universe. So all of this is canon. It actually does make sense once you know the full story. And then these are just drain pipes. They're about £5 each. I don't even know what to call that stuff, but it just looks really good when you hoop it up like that. And there you go. So let me just show you the main wall. This is the majority of the background. And you can see the effect that it has. Just getting a sponge and just putting dabs of paint on that cardboard. And because it's cardboard, it's already brown. We're not going to paint the whole thing. We're just going to put shades of brown on it so that it's brown on brown, so that it's all the same color. It looks like it's just dirty. It looks like it's messy. But what it also does is it prevents you from just seeing cardboard. So your eyes are not focusing on the joins. Your eyes are not focusing on the bits that make it look like cardboard. Because you've got that bit of dirt on it, it sells the lie, if that makes sense. The bendy pipe down at the bottom just, again, makes it look industrial because the character is a cleaner. So we wanted it to look like you're in the bowels of a ship. And then up top, though, we've got the drain pipe with that green gel on it. Now, that's a story element that will come into play later on, much later on in the universe. All we're doing to put it here is make it consistent. However, it just gives some detail to the back shot. The last thing you want is to shoot against an empty wall like this. You can put on whatever costume you want and make yourself look like an alien, but if you look like you're in a bedroom, you're in a bedroom, right? But with this, the background sells the whole thing. And so the more detail you can put in that background, the more it looks like this is not an office space in a church. And there's the whole thing when you put it together. You're not doing it right if you don't have LED strips. One thing I would say, and we found this to our cost, when you use mains powered LED strips, they flicker. All lights flicker. But when you've got different light sources, so like different LED strips, and you've got your regular, these lights that you're using, and they're all powered into the mains, they're going to flicker at different rates. So what will happen is your camera will pick up the flicker. That's fairly normal. In editing software, you've got a deflicker button that you can just click, and it will just take that flicker out. But it can only handle one frequency of flickering. If you've got multiple light sources like this, because they're all flickering at different rates, you're never going to get rid of it, and it's a real problem. So my advice, if you're going to use LED strips like this, I should have used all the same one and just looped it back through. This is 3 separate LED strips. You live and learn. Okay, so this is the one thing I regret about this shot that I didn't quite get right. So I wanted it to look like there's a corridor going past and then there's a corridor coming this way at you. And I wanted it to look like at the back door, someone's going to walk past any moment, because there's an actual corridor going this way behind the corridor there. So there's like a junction. And so we made this back wall here, which was just a black sheet, some chicken wire, which is, again, dirt cheap, one more drain pipe and one more of those bendy paper pipes, just to sell that that's the same area as this. The problem is we made it look so similar, and we didn't get some shadows in the gap in between, and so it just looks like it's a back wall to where you are. It didn't sell it. I'll show you in a minute. This is the only thing in the shot that I'm not happy with how this turned out. Okay, so we've done the background. Here's the foreground. So this is a welding visor. And well, not a very good one because it's plastic, but it was nice and cheap. And I just got a battery powered LED strip, and then I just fed the LED around the face there. So this means that it's going to light up the face very dramatically. And what I wanted to do here, that's Jordan, one of our other set designers, who also is in. I'm going to show you one of the other scenes that I can show you the background for later if people like this one. He's actually in that. He's the only trained actor in this whole shebang. Everyone else is kind of have-a-go heroes, and they're very, very good, but Jordan's the proper actor guy. Anyway, you can see there is a blue face. The scene is yellow, but the face is blue, and we've done that so that there's contrast in the two. It just looks good. But there's Laura in the same mask. She's the actual actor. Yellow overalls, because it just goes in with the scene. And there's a bit of the back wall again, and here we go. Put it all together, and this is what you get. By the way, it's going to show some detail here in a minute. So this is not the way it looked in the end. I'll show you what it actually looked like. The colors are different and stuff, and also it's going to give some details. Please support this movie. The name of the movie has changed since, so I'll give you detail on that in a second. But anyway, here we go.
Well, we've always known it was so wrong. Well, some of us have. And you didn't listen. None of you listened.
Okay, so let me just go back there a little bit, okay? Is that going to go? Sorry, I'm flicking between screens here. Right, okay, so that's how it looks here. Now, we changed the colouring to make it more yellowy. It's a bit green here at the minute. So you can see that the face in a visor, it blends in too much with the green in the background. Didn't like that. But this is a single colour. And this is a thing that Hollywood does an awful lot. About 60%, 70% of the whole scene is a single colour, and then there's a secondary backup colour, and then there's a very, very small amount of a third one. So with this, I want yellow, blue, and black, and that's it for this scene. And I'll show you the actual look, and you can see that this is what it carries off. Now, here's the thing I'm going to say to anyone who's filmmaking. Sound is more important than picture. That might sound crazy, but the amount of people who say, I'm getting into filmmaking now, what camera should I get? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Start with composition, what you put in the shot. Can you see here all of these things? That was an empty room. If I had a £100,000 camera, it would look like an empty room. So the composition is really important, the lighting is really important, and the sound is really important. So with Laura there, we've got the microphone pinned to a headband, the headband on the helmet there, so that you get really good sound. An audience will not forgive bad sound. It's the best way to make your film seem really cheap is to have bad sound. So you just use lav mics. You can get them for 20 quid on Amazon. It's really, really cheap, really, really easy. You'll get really good sound, and that's the way to go. Now, with this, I'm selling the scene with two things. Her voice, which is very clear, but it's distorted. So I just used audio distortion in DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use. It's free software. You can get that to edit your videos. It's very, very good. So I just used the distortion in that to just make it sound like it's on a walkie-talkie, or that kind of thing. And then there's the background of there's an industrial sound. So I wanted to make it sound like it looks. It looks like this is a factory or the engine room, which is what it's sort of supposed to be, the bowels of a ship. But we got that, and then you've got the announcement, which gives you the impression that this is a working environment and there's other people there. So let me just show you that again. Okay, here we go. So there's the announcement in the background. There's a distorted voice.
Well, some of us have. And you didn't listen. None of you listened.
Okay, so as you can see, her voice is very clear, as in there's no reverb, there's no echo. It doesn't sound like the microphone's on the other side of the room. It sounds like it's nice and close, which is what you want. But that distortion on it, I put that in deliberately because it sells the scene. Okay, so this is the shot that we went with, and this is actually the teaser. You still can't see the difference at the back with that corridor, so I'm really not happy about that. But you can see the lighting better here. Now you can also see the contrast between the blue in her helmet and the background. You see how much more striking that is? But the lighting was really simple. I just put two big LED panel lights shooting yellow straight up at the ceiling and bouncing off the ceiling and onto her, which is why the helmet is so much brighter than everything in the room. And it creates some nice shadows doing that as well. Okay, so would you like to see some commentary on how I made these ones as well? I'm happy to do that, and I'm thinking of doing some react videos to other sci-fi makers indie work as well. And if you want to see these films, these are 3 of 9 sci-fi movies that I've made, shorts that build out a universe. It's one big story between them. If you want to see that, don't forget to click like and subscribe, because they're coming soon, but I want you to get notified about that. And if you want to get involved in making a brand new sci-fi universe that could rival literally anything in Hollywood, where you can actually get involved where you are right now, and we can create something worth talking about, then again, click like, click share, subscribe, get involved, help us grow the channel. If you go to the website, link below, there's a newsletter you can sign up for where I'm going to start giving you the insider information. And if you want me to do more React videos in the future, let me know. But apart from that, we're going to do a whole bunch more spicy takes and various other bits of nonsense about the sci-fi and movie industries. That's it for now, guys. Hope to see you next time, and thank you so much for listening.